Me, 24-year-old senior private in the Polish army. Stationed on the Belarus border at a village forgotten by God. Place is at least 30 clicks away from the nearest semi-big town, not even a city. Living in a decent-sized camp with 9 other dudes in my tent, so no privacy. Can't disclose how many of us in camp, but it's enough to patrol our stretch of the border round clock and mostly keep the towel heads out. Be out on patrol with my battle buddy late at night. Middle of nowhere means no city lights, means no light pollution, means pitch freaking black. Be thankful for my NVGs while my buddy is running a thermal ocular. Start seeing something off in the distance laying on the concertina wire on our side of the border, thinking to myself it's probably another makeshift ladder the engineers made to go through the wire. Buddy says whatever's laying there, it's got a faint heat signature. MFW, we get closer and it's not a ladder, it's a dem corpse that's been ripped to shreds way more than it had any right to be by the wire. At this point I seen some dumbass die of dehydration, freezing to death, and once I seen a guy that was mauled and partially eaten by a boar. But I have never seen something like this. We're talking missing limbs, part of the face, organs hanging out, deep visible slashes across what's left of the torso, guts entangled in the wire. And the worst part is that it was a kid. I really don't like illegal immigration, especially when it's used in a proxy war, but this was just a kid that probably got dragged here by his parents thinking they could skip a border and go to Germany or France, but instead he ended up displayed on 3 rolls high concertina wire like some fucked up piece of art. I damn near puked in my ski mask but managed to keep it down. My buddy's voice pulled me out of my trance. Jesus freaking Christ and all saints, how did this even happen, Anon? Screw me if I know. I don't even know how the hell he could have got up there. That wire is like twice his damn height. Maybe he fell down one of those ladders and got mangled on the way down. And got his leg, arm, half his face and some of his goddamn torso ripped off by freaking wire? We should call this in. Yeah, no shit. Suddenly I picked up some light maybe 300 meters away in the forest. It was hard to tell cause my NVGs were making my depth perception all messed up. What is it? My buddy asked me. I got light. My 12. Maybe 300 meters. Check it with thermal, tell me what you see. 2 signatures of in the distance. One is small and very hot, not moving much, maybe a fire. Other is human shaped, moving slowly around it. But it's hard to tell exactly at this distance. I decided to call it in and ask for orders. Whiskey Tango Actual, come in. This is November Juliet Alpha, over. November Juliet Alpha, this is Whiskey Tango Actual, we're receiving you, over. Actual, we have a civilian body at the 58th kilometer and what looks like a person with a campfire some 300 meters into the forest, over. Say again, Alpha, you have a body and a person with a campfire just 300 meters away from it? That's a firm, Actual. Copy that, Alpha, are you sure the civilian is dead? Over. Positive, Actual, over. Copy, we're sending you some backup. ETA is 15 minutes. In the meantime I want you to detain that person with the campfire and secure the scene. How copy, Alpha? Solid copy, Actual. Moving to detain, Alpha, over and out. Actual, over and out. Shouldn't we wait for backup? My buddy asked me. For what? It's just one towel head. Besides, we don't want him running off once he sees car lights. What if he's the one that did this? He said, pointing to the boy's body. And I was suddenly once again aware of it, as much as I didn't want to be. Stop being a fucking pussy, dude. What's he gonna do against the 2 of us and 60 rounds of 5.56? I ain't no pussy. I'm just thinking ahead. Well, stop it and let's just go freaking detain him. Alright, lead the way. I started moving slowly through the underbrush in the direction of the fire that was noticeably larger even from this distance. Whole time I was thinking, why would some raghead make a fire this close to the border and our routes? Why wasn't he booking it further west? Did he know this body is here? Did he try to cross with the boy? Why does my corporal hate me? Why are tankers so damn stupid? And what's that smell? Wait, the smell. Noticeable stench of something cooking. But it wasn't pleasant like your mom's goulash, it was pungent and sharp like someone overcooking bone broth. The realization came over me and I stopped dead in my tracks maybe 100 meters from the fire. I held up my fist to let my buddy know to stop and went down on one knee slowly. I flipped up my NVGs, raised up my barrel and looked through the magnified holographic sight. And then I saw what I couldn't see through the NVGs due to the light reflecting from the fire. There was a big ass fucking cauldron sitting on the fire. A freaking cauldron. To say I was horrified is an understatement. Of a towel head? A Russian? A man? Hell no. Of a cannibal in buttfuck nowhere Poland with a taste for Arabs? Freak yes. I swiped my barrel towards the figure standing next to the fire and got a first good look at it. In front of me instead of an Arab man was an old white lady with a nose that belonged to a stereotypical Jew. She was wearing a traditional Slavic dress with red patterns on it and a scarf with a floral pattern on her head tied underneath her chin. If it wasn't for the fact that she had a comically giant nose and glowing red eyes, I'd think she was a stereotypical Slavic babushka. Wait. She has red eyes. And she's fucking looking straight at me. Oh shit. I said louder than I meant, but it's not like stealth mattered anymore. What the fuck is that? My buddy asked no one in particular. Polish border guard, show me your hands. I yelled in Polish. She didn't react, just kept staring daggers into me. Polish border guard, show me your hands now. My buddy yelled in English. Again no reaction. Rookie ver. Hands up, I yelled in Russian just in case. At that the old lady cocked her head to the side and started slowly raising her hands up. I started moving slowly forward with my rifle raised up but not pointing at her, my buddy following me. When we got about 50 meters away from here, I heard two trees, one on my left and one on my right, start creaking and small branches started falling. Looking up, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw a house standing on what I thought were trees but turned out to be two giant chicken legs. Suddenly the house started moving towards the woman, and when I looked back at her, she was inside the cauldron holding a broom when suddenly the cauldron started flying. What the fuck? My buddy yelled. I didn't say anything, I've seen enough, and just started letting of doubles at the fucking witch. My buddy followed suit and one of us had to have hit her cause she let off an inhumane shriek of pain followed by a roar that sounded like a mix between two cats fucking and someone running a fork on a chalkboard. The witch, the cauldron and the fucking broom all flew into the house that then proceeded to fucking sprint away at speeds that something that big shouldn't be able to move through the trees. Was that a fucking? My buddy started. Baba Jaga. I finished. How? I mean what? Where in the fuck? Don't even ask me cause I don't fucking know. Baba Jaga is a witch from Slavic folk tales that lives in a house on chicken legs. She is mostly portrayed as an evil old woman that abducts and eats children. She flies around in a cauldron using her broom to steer it. She is known in every Slavic culture and varies depending on them. But that is the premise. We started hearing engines on the road and decided to go back there cause fuck that bitch. On the way back I laid out what we were going to say to the leadership. This was going to be all kinds of fucked up. The end. This is my first anything I've ever written, so feel free to point out any shortcomings. If there are any writing mistakes, feel free to point them out, but remember I'm not a native speaker. In case you're wondering, yes, I am a Polish soldier that was stationed at the border, and yes, I really did see a body of a migrant mauled, most likely by a boar, and partially eaten. It's in fact what inspired me to write this story.
Yo, I'll humor this thread with one of my experiences. No green, because this isn't Miss Spooky Greentext YouTube. While I was at Fort Hood, my first sergeant made a big deal to tell the new arrivals and baby privates to get out and have fun on the weekend and not stay in the barracks during their time on the base. He mentioned hunting, fishing, movie theaters and gyms, as well as anyone being allowed to hike the tank trails. Just stay away from the ranges. Decided to do the hiking thing. Saturday I head out after lunch for just a walk along the tank trails. Not doing the spur ride hiking shit up any incline or anything like that. It's a short walk to get on a trail up the little mountain from where our company was. Spend hours walking along the trails. A striker platoon passes me, and I wave. Saw some birds, a roadrunner, some squirrels. In feeling great, turn around and start heading back after walking around for like 3 hours. getting a little tired. Should be like just after sunset. I get back, and I can shower and go to bed. Right, I kind of lose where I came from. Because of the multiple forks, my dumb self passed, without remembering which I chose in what order. Just keep going in the direction down off the hills towards the tops of buildings I can see. Bump into a few dead-end training areas I don't recognize. Nobody around. Sun is setting, and am still not that close to getting out of the woods. Come to another empty training area, and just decide to walk through it towards the lights made by the rest of the base I can see in the sky. I keep walking and just go through the actual woods to go in that direction. No trail. After getting scraped up by some thorny bushes, I come out on the other side to another tank trail, and I turn to walk down it. As I take my first few steps on that new trail, I hear someone call out from a good distance behind me in the training area, "Hey." Think I'm in trouble because someone was gonna start using the area or something. I turn around and call "Hey" back. Silence. I call again with "What's up?" or something. Still more nothing. I stand there for like a minute before I keep going. Can tell I'm actually getting closer to the base because the trails near the entrance of the whole training grounds are the most worn down and got this super fine powdery white dust from the tracks grinding it down. Like half an hour goes. It's fairly dark by now, and I hear again, "Hey, come here." This time just off to my left. Sounds close as hell. I stop and answer "What's up, who's there?" etc. Nothing despite repeated attempts. Keep going. I'm creeped out officially. "Hey, come here." Calls out again from my left, still just as close as before. I don't stop, but keep answering like "Yeah." "What?" "Hey, come here." Answers me back. Don't feel like going towards it at all. Pick up my pace. About once every 5 minutes would call out 2 or 3 times. And it keeps getting more and more frequent until it's just sporadically sounding off. Still just as close to me somewhere off in the woods off the trail, despite the distance I've traveled and the curves I've gone down. I pick up the pace to a light jog as I get closer to one of the bigger splits in the trails that lets me know right where I am, and I'm only a few minutes jog from pavement and streetlights. After like a minute of me jogging, then the calling starts to roll over itself in rounds, like a bunch of people are saying it in the same voice over and over out of sync. Still following my left side, just in the pitch black of the woods along the way. Start fully running when I hear that, and I go on for what felt like forever until as I can finally see the end of the trails and the start of the roads, and the calling turns off like a switch. Silent all at once. I keep running until I'm under a street light, and I continue walking until I get to my barracks room. After I wash the sweat and dust off, I just collapse into bed and knock out. Didn't walk around there again.
So I have this story saved for a long time now, and actually posting it first time in an OP thread. 2007/2008, forgot the exact time, but late 2007 early 2008. Friends go exploring way in bumfuck nowhere around eastern Oregon. Get lost in woods for hours. GPS isn't working right after about the first 2 hours of hiking. Getting dark. Hearing animals in the woods, coyotes, and other larger game. Pull out SIG 9mm. Walk out into a clearing hoping it's the road. No road, just a large clearing with a small slightly beat up ranch house and a light on in the front room. Run up to door. Start knocking. One friend points out this could be a couple of old rednecks with a moonshine operation running. Holster gun and pull jacket over it. Keep knocking. Nothing. Door is slightly ajar. Push it open slowly. Call out, "Hello, anyone home? We have been lost in the woods all day and we're wondering if you could point us to the road." Hear nothing. "Hello, we're coming in." Push door open. 3 of us are in your doorway, anyone here? We walk in, the air just feels thin and creepy. I pull out my gun and start clearing the room with the light on. Really nothing in the room, a little stool and lamp sighting on it, it's a oil burning lamp, a old rotten couch. Go back into hallway and enter next room. Now where it gets dirty. Hear friend just scream bloody murder. Run back into hallway and into the room he's now standing with gun drawn and ready to go. See a very dry very old core hanging in the center of the room. It's nearly completely bone at this point, no cloths, and can't tell if it's a man or woman. Put gun away, looking around room. See a pantry that's just slightly open and hear a light noise like breathing. Pull gun, round chambered. Motion to friend to open the pantry. He slowly walks up and flings the door open. A man's body covered in flies and bugs, shotgun in hand, his head just covering the wall. Not nearly as decomposed. Nope the fuck out and run away as fast as we can. Look back, see figure in front of the light before it goes dead. Nope.png.avi.jpg.gif. Whip out GPS, and check where we are. Shit's all kind of fucked, screen keeps flashing on and off where we are but the lat and long are both 0/0. Shit fuck shit, we're ripping through the woods. Stop and catch breath. Look at GPS again. See out location, but it is still blinking back to another one marked 0/0. We start walking back to our car we had saved in the GPS all the while it's blinking back to our previous location still have the heavy goodbyes. Finally back to car. GPS is still flipping shit. Get in car. Friend's holding GPS and says it's blinking to around the car, but like 16 feet off. See light in the wood suddenly. Light flies towards us. Oil lamp smashes on front of car. Nope 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 nope. Rip that shit into reverse and drive like a bat out of hell out of there. GPS still blinking to behind us. After we get about 30 miles away the GPS goes back to normal. Never told anyone about it, never talked about it again.
Befriend, 2016, Central Tennessee. Old guy lets him camp on his 300-acre valley property. Every other week or so heads out there. Camping, make a semi-large fire, then sleep in the back of his SUV nearby, armed with R-15 knockoff. One afternoon has old lady come see him. Walks across field to his setup. She's sweet and kind looking, heavy set hourglass body. Dressed in some big long white bell-shaped overalls dress, with men's shoes and men's shirt. Calls herself Debbie, says she lives next door down the road. Just trying to be friendly, doesn't sound southern. Asks him about life, school, etc. Helps herself to his food, but cooks him stuff in return. Leaves around 9 to 10 p.m. Almost every time he goes to camp, she comes to visit him. Always cooks for him with what he has. And until the third time, always looks the same way, save a different shirt. Asked her once about it, claims it's her style. She loves her big skirts, and I'm a 4-petticoat woman despite what modern society says. Talks to him a lot. She was quite clueless on certain things, such as phones and tech. Said she didn't even know men went to the moon. Lots of time spent with her on his SUV back bumper. She taught him to play some old card games one night. Another night, he said he showed her live Vocaloid concerts to her bewilderment. One night near fall, tells him thank you very sincerely. She's the nicest young man she knows. She's moving, that it was nice knowing him. Spends till midnight this time, gives him kiss and hug before departing. Never see her back, finds out there is no house on the end of the road, but there was 70 years ago. Claims he dreams about her sometimes, but has no idea what happened to her. Fully believes she was a ghost.
No Innawoods threads? Be me. Kemp Councilor at Boy Scout Camp in Michigan. Camp is in the middle of nowhere. At this time THRU was only a few buildings in the camp. Camp is fucking huge and has 2 lakes in it. In charge of Wilderness Survival Merit Badge. Pretty sweet, teach kids how to start fires with batteries and shit like that. Last thing for badge is going Innawoods for a night and surviving off of nothing but a trash bag. I set up the spot a mile into the woods. Used that spot for like 3 years with no issues. Built a giant ass fort for the hell of it. Proud. GIF. Every year I go to check out the site and make sure everything is in order a day before we all go out. Decide to practice what I preach and take a few kids with me because never go alone in the woods. Kids are stoked because they get a head start on the others. Takes a while to get there, we arrive at like 8 p.m. My fucking fort is trashed. Pissed.jpg. Poles that were like 4 feet in the ground were ripped up. See gash marks on the logs. WTF.png. Marks are deep and do not look like a bear. I know this kind of shit. Walk around site and notice these gashes everywhere on trees and rocks. Getting freaked now. Starts to get dark and me and the kids finish cleaning up the site for tomorrow. Kids ask me what made the mess. Don't want to freak kids out and say, no fucking clue, I'm spooked, so I just tell them it was a bear or mountain lion or some shit. Believe me. About to walk back. Notice something in the leaves. Fucking ripped up raccoon. Head missing, scratches everywhere. Fresh as delivery pizza. Oh fuck. JPEG. Kids see it and start getting scared. Tell them to make a lot of noise as we walk back. BSA doesn't allow guns, but I have AM9 bayonet I bought off army surplus. Make it halfway when we hear a howl. Deep as fuck, not wolf or coyote. Chills down my spine. Start walking faster. Hear howl again. Closer this time. Start power walking with kids. Reach pavilion right as it gets dark. Send kids back to respected campsites. Stay in pavilion kitchen all night. Swear I hear scratching at the door. Don't sleep a wink. Tell my boss the next day a bear just fucked up my campsite. Say it's too dangerous to go back that night. He believes me and I just set up a survival camp in an unused campsite near the pavilion. Kids are stoked that they don't have to go into woods to get batch. Kids that were with me yesterday are less enthusiastic. Nothing happens the rest of the week and I pass the kids that went with me even though they didn't do some requirements. Not the first or last thing that happened to me at my years in the camp, but the time where I felt in the most danger. Well, I guess I'll share another story of the BSA camp adventures. Be me. Still camp counselor. Don't do wilderness survival anymore. Do Indian badge. 2010 anniversary shit and I decided it was cool. Super into Indian legends in Michigan. Kids I teach just do the badge because it, limited edition. Whatever. GIF. One kid is really into this shit. Talk to him a lot and he is pretty cool. Let's call him Little Bear. He was fat, black and 13. He is in wilderness survival. That's me shit.png. Friend does the night hike now and I convince him to bring me along. Fucking astronomy fags go with us as well due to prior incidents, won't get into that, but it was a shit show. Stop every 10 minutes to look at gay stars. Get pissed and leave with Little Bear and a few others. Spot is about a half a mile out. Opposite side of the property from 3 years ago. Reasons above. Forest gets super quiet, no bugs or coyotes yipping like normal. Wilderness survival /K/prepper instincts tingling. Something's not right. Whip out my knife from my new leather sheath. Leather making was under same pavilion as Indian badge, so I got it for free. Feels good, man. Knife out, flashlight out. Feel like solid snake. Something hits my foot. Daft.png. It's a rock. Walk for a few more minutes. Kid complains that other kid is throwing shit at him. Other kid denies it and a fight breaks out. Friend breaks them up. Feel another rock hit my back. Shine light. No one there. Get to camp area. Fort V2 is waiting for me. Kids build shelters and then sit by fire. Rocks still now and then hit us or around us. Think it's the astronomy kids fucking with us. At about 2 AM rocks still coming in now and then. It can't be the kids. Kinda spooked. Little Bear is convinced it's some Indian spirit or mystical animal or some shit. Freaks out the other kids. Thanks a lot, M8. Let all 15 kids into my fort at night. Me and friend attend to fire till dawn. Rocks thrown until like 6 AM. Never see anything. Pack up at 7. Rocks fucking everywhere. How are these many rocks in the forest, my friend asks. We are about a mile from the lake where these stones are normally at. No clue. Little Bear is fucking stoked. Grabs a bunch of rocks as souvenirs. We head back to pavilion for breakfast. Ask faggy astronomy counselor if he was fucking with us last night. He doesn't even know where my camp was and was pissed at me for leaving him. Get bitched out by boss. Little Bear and other kids that went in the woods freak out rest of camp at breakfast. Legends begin on how me and my friend fought off Bigfoot with fire defending the fort. become heroes for no reason. Rest of counselors hate me. MFW Bigfoot fucked up my camp social life.
OK/X/ so all of my life my family has always been pretty in tune with spirits/entities and overall bizarre things, all stemming from our Irish/pagan heritage and some psychic abilities that some family members have. So I've grown up experiencing some overall unbelievable things, but the story I'm about to tell you definitely takes the freaking cake. Be me 17-year-old Jock, living in the mid of nowhere, Ohio, cold early winter night after a school basketball game or some crap. Me and some of my other jock bros hear some spoopy stories about some old train trestle down this out-of-the-way dirt road. Place is a known satanic/KKK meeting place because small-town Ohio is screwed. Confirmed story of a couple hanging themselves from said train tracks back in early 80s. Even better, I get the bright idea for all of us to pile up in my truck and investigate. I have 4 friends with me. Now all of us are pretty grown for how young we were. So after about a 20-minute drive down some back roads, we come to the dirt road where the train trestle is. We turn down the road, and it's the kind of place that puts the hairs up on the back of your neck. It was early winter, so no leaves on the trees. Everything was barren and just looked dead. Traveling down the road, we see the tracks come into view. My headlights coming level with it until we head down a little hill that runs below the trestle. Crap, spooky man. Park my truck directly below them. After about 5 or 10 minutes of us excitingly talking and freaking with each other, we start to get quiet and actually trying to witness something. My car was off, so the only things you could hear was our breathing and the occasional leftover insects outside. About 20 minutes go by of listening. Off to our right in this thicket of woods about 50 yards, we see this blue light appear. Dar hell, I see it, and I don't say anything just to see if the others would see it or not. My friend's riding shotgun sees it and says something to the rest. At this point, all of us are peering at this what looks like a blue lantern light swinging in and out and around the tree trunks in this thicket. Instantly we all think it's some Amish dude messing around in the woods, because Amish do dumb crap like that. I flip my lights on and they're directly facing the thicket. Don't see a thing. Flip lights back off, blue lights gone. 5 minutes pass, we start seeing the blue light again. Now we are just quietly watching this blue orb dancing around in these trees. Every has shut the hell up. Another 5 minutes pass and an orange light appears along with the blue light. Oh damn, it's got a friend. So you have me who has seen some pretty ghostly things in my life, and you have my 4 paranormal virgin buddies witnessing their first event. I'm loving every second, but you can tell they're starting to get shook. My windows are still down, and all of a sudden it gets real quiet outside. Like deafeningly quiet. One of my friends from the back blurts out that he thought he saw a shadow figure peek out about 20 yards in front of my car on the bend in the road. He says this, we all look. It's still deadly quiet outside, and I start to get this real uneasy feeling. A sound of gravel and dirt scuffling outside erupts from the right side of my car. Oh freak, oh freak, oh freak. My badass self starts my truck up and nopes the hell out of there, burning rubber down this dirt road. All 5 of us were breathing heavy, all saying WTF, did that just happen? Let's get the hell out of here. We get to the end of the road and stop at the stop sign. Me having a few minutes to gather what happened and feeding off my adrenaline and the fear of the others. Me being the driver, I turn to them and I say we're going back. I'm the only one down for this because I want to try to witness it again and try to understand what exactly is going on. To this freaking day it was the worst decision me and my friends have ever made. So we drive back down some roads so we could enter the Forsaken Road the same way as the first time. Make our way back down and park in the same spot underneath the trestle. All of us are a mix of nervous/excited/ and terrified. Proceed to roll windows down, shut truck off, and we all go eyes wide, mouths shut and ears open. The natural nighttime noises are going on outside, giving us a false sense of normalcy and comfort. About 30 minutes pass, and at this point I start cursing myself for being so scared and abandoning a rare experience. Right when I'm about to call it a night, a familiar sight appears. Off to our 2 o'clock in the thicket, we see the blue light reappear. We watch it intently dancing and dipping in front of trees. Behind trees, it's bright enough to where it's illuminating a small area around it and casting dim shadows, not long before the orange dew orb joins in. So now we're witnessing two unexplained lights interacting and dancing/moving around with each other. Now the screwed up no part is about to happen. I will take what I saw that night to my grave. As I'm typing this, my body is getting the chills and goosebumps. You can believe me or not, I honestly don't give a damn. But me and 4 others witnessed it that night. As we're watching the lights, shit starts to get real quiet outside. Nothing is moving, and the insects have stopped talking. Now the best way I can describe what happens next is about 15 to 20 feet in front of my truck. I see what I would describe as a 6-foot-tall flash of lightning. It makes no noise, but it lit up the surrounding road, woods, and inside of my car. Everything happened so fast. The mini lightning hit, it flashed, and as the 5 of us are reacting in shock and horror, out of the corner of my eye I see this pale-skinned, real thin figure/creature, whatever the hell, stand up right beside my driver's side door, and it books it to the back of my truck. Ungodly freaking speed on this thing. Nope, nope, nope. Turn my truck on as fast as I can. Pedal to the damn floor, and we're out of there. Everyone is either screaming/crying or just silent. No one knows, not even me, what the hell just happened. My friend in the passenger seat points his hand up and points to my window and starts screaming. At this point I scream and say, "Dude, freaking stop, shut the hell up." At this point it wouldn't surprise me if that emperor was running beside my car. We get to the end of the road and he says, "Dude, freaking look." I finally look and there is this nasty freaking handprint sitting on the glass on the outside of my window. We all look at it in disbelief. I look at it and I am like, holy crap, we have proof. Don't give a damn. I pull over on the side of the main road. We all hop out of the car to inspect this thing. Has 2 elongated fingers and can make out some grooves on the imprint. We all snap pictures of this thing just so we have evidence. Nope the hell back to our friend's house, and none of us sleep at all that night, too busy talking and trying to get a grip on what we witnessed. Give me a few and I'll post the picture of the handprint I captured that night. Alright, sorry for the crap quality, but this was taken back in 2011 with a crappy iPhone. To give you guys reference, we circled the print. The ridge below the fingers is about 4 inches long, and the fingers themselves are about 5 to 6 inches long. You can also note the possible tip imprints of 2 other digits. So possibly 4 fingers. If the image was clearer you'd be able to see grooves on.
Okay, here's a story. B15. Just got my first personal .22 rifle, all mine, super proud. Little bolt thing, super accurate, loved it. Have a family friend who owns property like 10 minutes drive from our house. On this property is an old house. Built by homesteaders around 100 years ago, falling apart. Right next to it is a creek and a field. We used to camp on the far side of the field all the time, also would shoot using creek as a berm. One day I decide I want to go camping. Bike out there with my .22, a box of ammo and normal camping kit. Super excited, shoot like 200 rounds at cans and shit from the trash hole nearby. In the 60s someone lived on the property in a trailer and threw trash in this sinkhole type thing. Started getting dark, built a fire and busted out the harmonica to practice. I was terrible at it, but it kept my mind busy whilst relaxed. Suddenly something isn't right. I feel like I'm being watched. Hair on neck is raised, heart elevated. My mind starts racing, imagining things unseen out there. Clutching rifle and flashlight, scanning the field and trees for movement, shadows playing tricks on my mind, and I'm shitting bricks. Moonless night. Goddammit, I want to go home now. Wish I'd brought a tent at least to hide inside. It was summer in Texas and was too hot, but I wanted that security now. Started building fire bigger. Made a torch of sorts with a stick and a torn-up t-shirt I'd brought along with thoughts of making some sort of camouflage for my rifle. Darkness is giving up no secrets, but I can definitely hear something out there walking around. Didn't want to shoot because sometimes cows wander onto the property. Fuck. I never wanted this .jpg. Maybe coyotes, they're common out here. But no, not in this particular area. Too many farmers and rednecks hunt them, they avoid it. Jesus Christ, I think I hear breathing. It's kind of circling me, getting closer. Pissing pants by this point, wishing I had something big bore. This was before cell phones were inexpensive. I didn't have one. Just told my parents I was going camping and where. Great, so they'll just find my grisly remnants tomorrow morning after I don't come home. Sweating buckets and running out of wood, fire dying. Contemplating running for it, but the woodsman in me wouldn't leave the fire. It was too dry out there. Suddenly I hear a deep echoing bark from kind of far off. The thing circling me stops for a second. A long pause and then another bark, closer, and the thing takes off in the direction away from me and the bark. An enormous white fluffy dog comes trotting out of the tree line. Super friendly, has a collar on that says, Snowman. Snowman and I chill out for a few hours. Only once he turns his head, perks his ears and growls, half barks, and then goes back to normal. Feel totally safe with Snowman there. Eventually fall asleep with the big lug next to me. Hot as hell, but who gives a fuck? Next morning Snowman is gone. Figure he went home after the thing buggered off for good. Go home and scrape the brick dust out of my boxes. Next day. Talking to property owner. Tell him of that night. Confirm no cows were out there. Mention Snowman. He looks at me like I'm an asshole. Snowman was my dog. He was killed by a car last year. I wart hard and tell him I was serious. Snowman was real. I petted him and got covered in his white hair and everything, and he saved my skin from whatever out there wanted my nutsack for a Cohen purse. He doesn't believe me until I dig the shirt out of the wash and show him the hair all over it. He says it looks just like Snowman's. Every now and then I hear a bark off in the distance whilst camping there and feel warm inside.
Fine, let me get this down. Friends and used to be in scout troop. Close friends, we all 4chan pretty hard. Me/X/and friend 1 super/K/Amando, friend 2/Co/Mrad. Hear about this big Innawoods deal over summer. Dudes, let's freaking do this. /K/ this is bull crap, but at least we can get away from the city for a while. /Go/ where we going? Decide to go into the Everglades. I got a scoped rifle, K got an assault rifle, Co goes for tactical shotgun. For those of you that don't know, most of the Everglades isn't fenced off. You just need a big enough truck, a small enough boat to get around. Start out at dawn a little north of where the whole Zimmerman thing went down, Lake Mary. By night, we are camped out deep in the woods, got our tents up, fire pit going, and surrounded by bugs and marsh. We agree to take turns watching, but the bugs are so loud we are all kind of just topped together. Wake with a start, frantically look around, everything is okay. Other friends are asleep. Like 4 a.m., notice fire is out, not smoldering like you would expect, not even steam from leftover heat, like someone poured water on it. Damn it, /K/ that fire was keeping the bugs away. /K/ wakes up, hit /Co/ because he is startled. Dude, I was asleep, I didn't put it out. /Co/ is pretty groggy, always a heavy sleeper, but comes to and asked why it is so quiet. We stop shouting, what? All the bugs are gone, small animal noises too. Whatever it, early enough, let's start some cooking. Boy Scouts, we start early. By dawn we are fed and tooled up for some hunting. /Co/ wants a trophy, so we decide to get a gator and we will roast him for dinner tonight. Go deeper into swamp and find gators in banjo territory. Wait till we find one that is good and big. It is probably 5 or 6 feet. I put a round through its side and /Co/ sprays its mouth when it tries to chomp us. We jump out of water as quick as possible. It is never the gator you see that kills you. We carefully get around and grab the body and bring it back to camp. Now this was our second mistake. The thing was okay with use, even with a fire. But once we went onto his hunting grounds, I think we pissed him off. We cook it up, baste it with sauce, and let it finish grilling. We smell this awful smell. Worse than Ned Raccoon. /co/ come on, we are cooking here. /k/ wasn't me? /co/ well /x/ is too much of a girl to be able to still fart, so must be you. /k/ everybody, ignore the smell and start eating the gator. But the cop don't care. I've seen a friend's dad that was in the Miami police go gator shooting like every year. Halfway through eating /co/ drops his gator and dives into his tent. Hey /co/ everything okay? He pops out and shoots at the tree line. Woo /co/ what the hell? I saw something. He was just staring at us. /co/ short dude. It gets dark. We get into tent /co/ volunteers to guard. Whatever dude /k/ fall asleep. Bugs are back and think about this before passing out. Wake up to shouting /co/ what the hell? Come out and see the fire is gone. All the outside stuff is sacked and fire is watered out again. /k/ comes out too. /co/ left for a piss and got a little lost. Now all our stuff is messed up. And the other half the gator was dragged off. There's an obvious drag line from the big gator. /co/ says screw it, grabs his gun and makes to follow the trail. /k/ goes to with a huge spotlight. I notice the birds and bugs are gone again and the smell is back. Start to put it together. Damn guys, this is what happens in those jank-ass stories. /k//co/ get the hell back. They're gone. Not happy being alone, so I grab my stuff and run after them. We walk for about 30 minutes after I catch up to them, find the gator at the base of a mangrove, got spilled all over the roots. What? TMI /k/ pokes around the tree, try to tell them this is some /x/ level crap. They just laugh. It is just some coyote or something. Do you even realize how stupid that sounds? This is the Everglades. Suddenly there is a huge crash to the left. We all look that way. Behind us is a huge splash. Turn. See /k/ as his gun trained on this. Something had a head kindle like a dog, but it was kind of blistered, and no hair, no dog ears either. This thing is a head bigger than mine, poking from the water behind /k/ and latched on his ankle. /co/ tactically put Maxes himself, then shoots the thing point blank with his shotty, and thing doesn't even look our way. /k/ has some anger problems, so when faced with something trying to bite his leg off, he goes full Hulk. Oh no you didn't, you little mother lover. He grabs the tree with one arm and levels his assault to the thing's eye, pumps out 4 rounds. Thing doesn't let go, but it is bleeding and eye socket is a big bullet wound. If ID bleeds, we can kill IT. Betamax. We unload on it. After about the 3rd shot from /co/ it yells and splashes into the water. Okay now, let's freaking run. /k/ between me and /co/ cause his ankle is done. We note back to camp. We are halfway back when there is another crash, like we are falling for that again. From ahead of us, we see the thing rocketing at us, like as fast as a car. Me and /co/ duck to the sides. /k/ wails but manages to stay upright and fire around. Nowhere near the thing though. Me and /co/ watch from either side as this thing runs into /k/, mouth open, fangs first. That thing bites into /k's neck and lifts him off the ground, just by the neck. Now we get a full view of it. /k/ is 6 feet too. This thing has a good bit between his feet and the ground. It must be 7 feet at least. It has mange and matted fur that look to be white, but the swamp water and weeds had dyed it sickly green. The left side of its face is covered in blood, but its eye was back. Standing up, it looked like an upright wolf with no tail or ears. The thing pays me and /co/ no mind as we get back to camp. We grab the essentials and S80 foam. Run to the place we stashed the jacked up truck we used to get here, all the while we hear the howling and smell it from different directions in various pitches, but always just out of sight, so all we could see was the glow of its eyes, cat-like green with slits. I don't know. I've also never seen one in Florida before besides me, so maybe it has a different hunting pattern. We get back to the car and call the state troopers. We lock ourselves in. It comes out of the woods into our headlights with /k/ over its shoulder just standing there. After about an hour it leaves and we hear the sirens of the cops. When they get here we threw ourselves at them. Tell them everything, even about the skinwalker. They get this look of pure horror, the kind vets get when they think back to their tours. Landsat /co/ something is up. A few of the cops go into the woods, come back half an hour later, pure white, sweating. You stumbled into a gator nest and your friend was caught in the death roll. Oh no you don't, I know what I saw. /co/ starts shouting. After fighting with the cops for a while, they cuff us. As we are getting driven away, we look back to the tree line. /K/ is there. Cops look there as our friend /Go/. They don't even look, but more color leaves their face. We look back. /K/ has no throat, and Fode is at a weird angle. He has the biggest grin on his face and sharp teeth, blood all over him. And he waves bye to us, slowly and jerkily. Damn.txt.mov.htdp. We are arrested and told we were using illegal substances and mentally unstable. We get put in a crazy house. No trial, no phone call, nothing. /Go/ was already a bit of a paranoid guy and a conspiracy dude. Being locked away completely unhinges him. I just play along, fake taking some pills, say what they want me to say. I'm out after a couple of months that seemed like a year. Got out at the start of November. Get out. Old buddy manages to swing a job at me. Look up /K/ and /Go/ /K/ was ruled an accident while hunting snakes in the Glades solo, and his body was found about an hour drive from where we were. Still has the gator bite as cause of death. There is no record of either me or /Go/'s arrest. There is paperwork saying he is the crazy house, but it says he was checked in after having a mental breakdown at his aunt's house who turned him over. /Go/ has no aunt. He was disowned by his parents a long time ago and lives by himself. I don't even think his parents are still in Florida. I just want to put it all behind me and never go in the woods again. Dude, heed my tale. Don't try, just let them be. It ain't worth it.
My name is Jeff and I work in the frozen food industry, for a local company that delivers stuff to restaurants, food trucks, etc. I work the early morning shift along with a single mid-level manager. Mid-level manager and I arrive to work one Monday morning and it is still dark out. Late in the year, stars still twinkling in the sky above. It's frigid outside and frost covers everything. We've got a delivery this morning, a frozen food hauler that needs to be emptied and sorted before the rest of the crew comes in. Get to it. Mid-level manager is supposed to be in the freezer, with an extra insulated burqa on. Not really a burqa but a really huge, woolly jacket type thing. Makes him look ridiculous. I've got layers on too but I'm working in the trailer of the truck. We set up rails and I start emptying the trailer. Mid-level manager goes into the freezer and doesn't come out. I send things down the rails and they disappear through a window slot into the freezer where mid-level manager takes and sorts them. Everything is going perfectly normal. A huge sound reverberates through the trailer, like someone had whacked it with a big sledgehammer or something. The sound pinged off the inside of the trailer, making a gong-like sound. Obviously, I didn't miss it. Trailer rocked back and forth a little too. I'm taken aback. Our warehouse is pretty remote, about half a kilometer from the nearest town. Need to take a lonely little industrial road just to get here. Tall grass and tight-knit tree lanes have us hemmed in. Nobody else should be out here, especially with the high gate and no trespassing signs everywhere. Another impact, more like a massive slap. I lose my footing on the slippery floor of the freezer trailer and fall over, banging my head hard against the side of the trailer. Visions goes white for a moment before it readjusts and the pain sets in. Now I'm angry. Who the hell just did that? I yell out, my own voice echoing in the cramped, frozen space. Nothing. Just silence. The freezer unit at the back of the truck turns off. It had been running the whole time, and I think I hear heavy footfalls from outside. Like someone with boots on trudging through the parking lot. I stand there for a moment before I realize I'm not sending product down the rails anymore. Sure enough, mid-level management pokes his frost-encrusted face out from the window slot and tells me to keep moving. WTF, if mid-level manager was still in the freezer then who was hitting the side of the trailer? I pick up a discarded piece of racking as a weapon and cautiously get out of the trailer into the concrete docking area. I open the door out into the parking lot and look around. Nothing. Just pre-dawn darkness and the buzz of insects defying the night's cold with their incessant mating calls. I wait a few minutes to see if I hear anything. Mid-level pokes his head out the slot again and really yells at me this time. I can't blame him, it's sub-Arctic in there. I finish emptying the trailer with no further issues. Afterward, we wrap up, dismantle and store the racks and clean up the trailer. Mid-level manager hands paperwork to truck driver who was snoozing in our office. He had been waiting for several hours to finish this delivery. Truck driver and mid-level manager both come out just as I'm finishing up. Truck driver heads to his cab to start his truck but stops and exclaims loudly. Asks us what the fuck happened to the trailer. Me and mid-level manager head over to have a look. Big, muddy handprints are smeared down the length of the trailer. Think, dark mud coats the side of the trailer and it looks very much like a handprint. A very, very big handprint. Truck driver is bewildered, says he doesn't remember that being there. Wonders if maybe something smacked into the trailer while he was asleep in our office. I don't say anything. I'm a shy person by nature and I don't feel like telling anyone, least of all someone I work for, that something was slapping the side of the trailer hard enough to knock me over. Mid-level manager produces paper towels and helps truck drive take most of the mid off. Meanwhile, I'm scanning the tree line trying to find any trace of what might have done this. Nothing. The forest around us is still and quiet save the insects. First and last time I experienced anything like that. I kept working there for about a year more before leaving for a better paying job. Still wonder to this day what it was that hit the trailer.
Be me, paranoid young teen. Here window break. Oh shit.jpg. Investigate the noise. Oh darn, it's a skinwalker. Retreat upstairs to my room. Rather than call 911 I boot up my 10-year-old desktop. Takes 15 minutes to start. Hear the monster walking up the stairs. Open up /x/. The beast is outside my room. Start to write post then realize I need a related picture. The skinwalker enters my room, it has spotted me. Gasgaskas.mp4. Hastily browse through images for at least 10 minutes to find one that looks nice. Skinwalker patiently waits for me to finish writing my thread and post it. Sit back and wait for responses on what to do. Throw a Hotpocket at it. I mean, they are the experts. Walk downstairs and stick a Hotpocket in the microwave. Skinwalker follows. Set the machine to cook for 3 minutes. We stand around awkwardly until it beeps. I take out the tasty snack and throw it at the creep. Skinwalker immediately dies. I am victorious, slow and steady wins the race against the murderous superhuman cannibal.
Sipping booze after midnight looking at hiking maps around summer season 2018. Contemplating where and when to set off on a trip. Fuck it, I'm setting off now, I can catch a bus in a few hours to a mountain resort. Pack my shit and leave in like 5 AM sleep deprived and tipsy. Take a nap in bus, arrive refreshed, set off on some maze of unpaved logging roads looking for the proper marked trail. Success, I see the white markings on a suitable road. Weather is good, no wind, a bit of cloud cover at 3 km/9 kft over the ridges. See label Black Rock on a detour to the left of path. Remember I saw it unmarked on the map, some panoramic spot a few minutes away. Go check it out. It's a nice rock providing a good view of the valley, scenic, but does not trigger the normal wow, so cool reaction wait a minute. Only thing I can hear is the river in the valley below. No wind, every bird that was going ham on singing 5 minutes ago is bound nowhere to be heard. I'm getting creeped out, better leave, got that dready feeling. Get back on trail, everything is back to normal, 3-day hike ends with no accidents. Go back home, look up the spot. In the mid-1940s when communists took over, they used the rock as an execution spot, just kick the undesirables off the edge, no bullets needed. Dozens of people had died there. MFW.
Sipsey Wilderness, Alabama. Had a late start but planned a short day. Sun setting, close to where I planned on camping. Taking a leak. There's a stream behind me, maybe 30 back. In front of me is mega-dense, overgrown forest, backed by a cliff wall maybe 100 foot away. Hear someone walking down the trail. Glance but don't see anyone. Hear him say, "Excuse me," in a tone you'd use if you wanted to walk past someone. He was right behind me, clear as day, though I hadn't hear him walk up. Turn around, all I say is dude, as in, dude, I'm trying to piss, why are you standing right behind me? No one there. Yeah, it's the typical, and no one was there when I turned around story. I had never felt more fear and dread than I did at that moment. It was the most horrifying thing that's ever happened to me. It was 9 years ago, when I was 31. I first started camping when I was 3 months old, and started backpacking when I was 8. So this wasn't a case of an inexperienced person hearing a sound and being freaked out because they're in an unfamiliar environment. And it wasn't just a sound. It was a man speaking to me, just a foot or two behind me. Too close while I'm trying to pee. It would be impossible for someone to have been somehow playing a prank by yelling from the bushes or something. There was nowhere to hide and I could hear how close he was. So I'd planned on about an 8-mile hike, and it was timed pretty well. I would have arrived at camp probably with very little sunlight left. Instead, I hiked straight back to my car, without stopping, in the dark. I used a headlamp, so it's not like I was using moonlight only. A portion of that is a 30-foot long cave with no bypass that you have to go through sideways without your pack. It's just where a giant boulder and I guess a small landslide fell into another boulder. Pretty neat under normal circumstances, but terrifyingly during this. I remember being scared something was going to grab my pack, or be waiting for me on the other side. Something was going to happen. When I made it past the cave and was nearing my car, all I could think was that my car wouldn't start or I'd have a flat tire or something. Like for some reason I'd be delayed even further from getting the hell out of there. Got in my car and sped the hell out. I probably checked the back seat a dozen times before driving into town. I got a room at a Motel 6 and literally didn't sleep. I just watched TV and stayed away from the window.
That's legit spooky. Did you notice other hikers on your way in/out?
No, it was a weekday and a little on the cold side for Alabama. The place sees a lot of use on weekends, and some on weekdays in nicer weather. Plus I was pretty far from the nearest trailhead, and it was nearly dark. Ignoring the fact that someone spoke to me from about 2 feet behind me, the landscape alone made it impossible for someone to hide or something. I still get the willies thinking about. I have not gone back to the area since, and never will.